right into it. Hey everyone, Bangin Beers podcast,
Friday night edition.
Friday night edition. So this is actually going to be something we shot and we sat on for a little bit because not this weekend, but next weekend I'll be in South Bend, Indiana, and Ben will be going to Comic-Con
in New York.
New York Comic-Con. So we're gonna do a little just me and Ben bullshitting, talking. We really have no talking points. I just literally called Ben. It's 8:30 now. I called him at like 7:30 and said, "Hey Ben, you want to do an impromptu show?" And Ben's like, "Sure, let's do it." So we busted 3 beers out. We're just gonna kind of wing it, see what happens, and just to give you guys some content. It's the first time in a long time we did a show. This might be the first time we've done a show with no guest.
No guests, and it's kind of like old school.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Except
like
we're not doing like a epic, ridiculous 6-pack.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, we're actually going to keep our palate somewhat normalized and really enjoy these 3 beers.
Oh, definitely.
So we already cracked the first one and poured it. We got wolf prints. So some of these cans are a little old.
Right.
So I know this one's no longer in production. This is the Wolf Prince Batch 1. This is a collaboration between Wolf Brewing Company, make awesome beers, and Imprint Brewing Company, who we've already kind of showcased on this show.
Yep.
I am a huge grapefruit guy. I love grapefruit. I love grapefruit flavored things. I love grapefruit juice. As soon as this can was kicked, it is the strongest grapefruit smell I've ever gotten in anything.
And I just want to see. This has mangoes, pink guava, Tunisian vanilla, and hibiscus petals.
Yeah.
And it smells like grapefruit.
Yeah, it does. The description on tap does say grapefruity.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if this is one of those things where because it's a little older. This is like an experimental thing. So
this is gonna be fun.
So if Wolf and Imprint, this is not what you produce as a fresh can. We're trying it later. Ben has already had it before. This is my first time. So just a quick put it out there. This is not a fresh. Some of these are not fresh cans of beer.
There's only maybe like 1 can that's fresher than the rest.
Yes. So
we're
we're gonna review it, but if it does have that maltiness, we're not gonna hold it against the breweries because it's our fault we sat on it too long. Because here's what's been happening. We've been having a lot of guests come on, and they're like, "Cool, we want to bring beer to you guys."
Yeah.
And then we get and I try to limit my drinking to just this show because
definitely, yeah.
I just don't want to drink every single day.
You don't want to do that.
The big thing with us is when we're on the show, I know the first couple episodes you watched, we had like 48 beers, and back in the heyday, I would have no problem drinking that many beers. But we definitely do want to, preach responsibility, and people do struggle with alcoholism and stuff like that.
Definitely, yeah.
And we're not promoting alcoholism. We're not promoting that beer is a cool thing. But this is more. It's like I know people are like, oh, you consider alcoholism that's not how we're looking at it. This is people put a craft into something. They're putting their work into something, and for us, it's more or less like we'll try it and we'll give you a review. But it's not like we're gonna drink 13 beers in one night.
It was kind of like more of an exciting thing because like I had all this beer in my fridge, and it's like when we did the first show, that's why we kind of like went balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Because it was like not only between me and you and Austin and also Dan then too when he came by, but having all that beer on top of it and then recording for 3 hours, it definitely wasn't intended for that.
Yeah.
It was just, we were just kind of excited to showcase something new, something
and I mean,
different.
And all these shows on our channel too. I mean, we're pushing 30 episodes each.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad.
So realistically, we're over 100 episodes easy between 4 shows, and each show we have learned more and more and more about the beers and exactly what we're trying to do here. So we're gaining it as we go. So here's a cool little idea I have. We're gonna run through our shows. We're gonna do a complete run through. So this episode, let me get rid of this. So when our newest episode airs, that we're gonna be 2 episodes behind this one. So this is technically gonna be episode 32. But as we're talking right now, episode 30 is going to drop. So that's our 30th episode for Bangin Beers.
Wow.
So we're going to do this is going to be like a recap show. We're going to go back and talk a little bit about each 30 episodes, talk about the growth and a little bit about the guests and how if we remember it or not.
Oh my god,
that'd be a fun little topic, right? Yeah, so it'll be a review here. So the first episode was with my brother. That was the beer gauntlet.
Yeah, that was just fucking nuts. Like you had apple cider sours, you had
it was so much
stouts. It was ridiculous.
Dan joined us for a couple seconds. Dan left his girl in the car and came in and had like 4 beers and then had her drive the rest of the way home.
He got hammered.
He got smoked. Here's a cool little thing too. If you're not like, if you go back and watch, we really didn't know how to use microphones. I didn't know how to set audio up. The camera, we used to have the camera set up over that side and it faced this way, and we sat like a talk show,
like American Idol.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was so stupid. Like it was
cool, you know,
because we're like talking to each other, like, "Hey, what's going on down there?" And I like the eye contact better.
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm. The table was much barer. We added a lot to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that episode was crazy, man. That there was a lot of beer there.
Yeah, I liked that episode too. It was just the fact that, again, it was like the first episode, kind of like a first appearance type of deal.
Yeah.
And it was just really fun, just like trying out all these different beers, and then like exposing your brother, especially. That was kind of like
he'd freshly turned 21.
Another huge thing when he turned 21. He was getting his feet wet. That's the reason why we kind of had a little bit more there to showcase, like
Absolutely.
Stouts, IPAs, sours, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. And then Dan joined us for a part 2 episode, and he got white girl wasted.
Wow. Yeah.
I had to mute his mic a couple times. He was out of control.
Was that the one with your dad then too?
My dad was on the first 3 or he was on the first couple episodes, like the first 5 or 6. You're gonna realize how quick 30 episodes went, because some of these I think back on, I'm like, I thought that was so much sooner.
Yeah.
But Dan was a fun one. Then the next one was Mike Vern from Vernalis in Shenandoah.
Before you go to Mike Vernalis, the only favorite beer that
when Dan tries the sour.
There's 2 of them where he liked the Neapolitan stout from Aslan. He goes, "Oh my god, I'll drink this all day."
Yeah.
And then when he drank the sour, "Dump it in the woods," and he just turned like bitter beer faces, like somebody like wrung out his face like a washcloth.
And then we had Mike Vern, and I believe that was our Cortland episode.
Now wait a minute.
So here's another thing that we've recently started to do. I would do Bangin' Beers episode 1, and then I put the guest name. So now our new thing is Bangin' Beers episode number, guest, and then the beers we had. Mm-hmm. I could go back and redo them all, but some episodes, like I said, we did 15 beers.
Yeah,
all those names wouldn't fit in the description.
Oh, I definitely would.
Yeah. So
I didn't even know even if there's like a maximum characters type of
there
deal.
definitely is. Yeah, so that was our Cortland episode. That was really fun. Mike definitely still wants to come back and do a Yingling, where he wants to try all the Yingling beers.
I really want him to come back too. He was all right. I liked when he was there.
That is it drinks like juice.
It does. I was like, wow, no
malt.
No, usually sours don't have the malt, but it's just like it doesn't even have like any sting to it.
That's
just
fucking good.
Wow, I'm excited for the other sour, the fruited one.
Our debut of Scott Sharp.
Sour Sharpie. Yeah.
Then we had Cheesefoot and Matt Sprague. Matt Sprague made a couple appearances on this show. He was on a couple
about like
times.
3 or 4, didn't he?
Yeah. Then we had Dave Martin. That wasn't so much a guest spot. He just kind of hung out for an episode.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah.
We always didn't have guests. They were kind of like coming back and forth.
Coming and going.
Yeah. Then we did our first musical guest of the show history of all 4 shows. We had the Boys Upstairs.
Yep. And we all did shitty beer.
And we all got super sick.
Man, my stomach was freaking killing me, and I was having diarrhea for like 3 days.
Yeah,
that was
here.
freaking bad.
Yeah,
and then the top.
I was pissing out my butt for 4 days.
And to top it all off, it was the Mad Dog 2020, the Orange Julius
I think that's what stirred the pot. Yeah, we had a bunch of brown bags at the table. We started with we had Hurricane, we had Colt 45, we had Steel Reserve, which to this day is the worst beer I've ever had in my whole life. Steel Reserve was awful.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding about that.
It was like turpentine. Then Matt Sprague came back and joined us. And then we really, really hit hard with guests, and we're like, man, we're gonna do guest spots. This is gonna be our thing.
Yeah.
We had Dave come on, and he tried to do some photography with some beer.
Oh, Dave Lorenzo.
Dave
yes.
Lorenzo, yeah, who will be back on the show very, very soon.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Dave actually got us the Dayman beer. Yeah, really cool episode. That was episode 9, where we tried to develop film with beer using Dogfish Head Super 9.
Yeah. Super
Actually
9.
a really good beer too.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Then we had the return of Faith in Exile.
Oh, that was fun.
I thought that was much sooner. That's our 10th episode.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that would have been it. That was when I was like late to that show.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm like, oh, whatever. And it's like, oh, you got beat. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
the guest beat you here.
And that was the fact that like that was with my gram and all that too.
Yeah. Now we're 10 episodes in at this point. We're talking. What was your initial impression when coming into this? Like, what did you think was going to come out of this show?
We were just gonna drink beer, bullshit, and just have a good time with it, and just say like just like a typical rating show. Like, what did you think of it? Would you go to this brewery? You know what I mean? That kind of deal. Yeah, that's really what I really looked into. And not only that, like, I usually like getting the beer then too, and I like exposing other people to the beer as well. That's like my like little thing. Like that's like my great thing.
It's like giving somebody a Christmas present.
Yeah, it's like if you tried it and you didn't like it, I'm like, okay, cool, you tried it out.
Yeah, 100%.
If you didn't like it, who gives a shit?
And not every single person we have on the show are craft beer drinkers. We have people who come on the show and that would drink a beer and go, "This is disgusting," and we would say, "Listen." Because we tag the breweries, we say, "Hey, man, don't take offense. Like some people are just not craft beer drinkers, and we're trying to introduce them something new." So we have a little bit of both. I wouldn't consider us, and when I say this, I'm not saying that other podcasts that do this are, but I'm just going by the terminology that people use, like the beer snob term. I wouldn't say we're that. We're like you have a lot more knowledge in it than I do.
We're like kind of like the everyday beer drinkers, but we have a little bit of finesse with ourselves to if you really want to think about it, we kind of are a little bit snobbish, but we'll tell you like you could try this other brewery. Yeah. It's okay. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing. When it comes to most of the sideshows, when I say sideshows, I mean Bangin' Beers, Tornado Tag Podcast, and Not Cool in High School. I am the least knowledgeable, I think, on every single show, but I play host. I keep the show going in the direction. Behind the scenes, I do all the audio, all the video. I'm not a video and audio expert, so some of the stuff I'll look back in 5 years, like I look on my first interview and go, that looks and sounds awful. But I rely on the guys I bring onto the show to be those experts and to really pick up. So you're more or less, this show is driven around you and then the guest. You know what I mean? Where it's like, so I think my biggest challenge with the beer, and where I wish I want to step up on in the future, would be going to more places. Now that we have these microphones, we can do that. We're not limited. We're not held back, because we did. We were invited to a brewery. We went with the Budwashers, the Pillaroo guys, and we went to Trogs. So much fun. We had so many good beers, but the problem was the microphones that we were using here did not work at all in that situation. They sucked up too much background noise. That's why we actually upgraded to these. And the reason we did upgrade to these is because you guys supported us with the buying stuff from the merch store. When you guys bought all that stuff, man, and according to all 4 shows, it was enough for us to pick up these 2 mics. So
it's nice, yeah.
And people are really, helping us grow it, because it's a slow burn with me. I'm not a wealthy man. I'm not a rich man, but I get what I can when I get it, and then I put it where I need to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying. I'm slowly building this up. I have visions to do a million things, but I'm on a $15 budget. So obviously there's other podcasts out there that can sound and look a lot better than us and have better technology, but we'll grow there. We're getting there. Not many people can say we put as much content out as we did in a short amount of time. We haven't even hit a year yet, and we're this is episode 32.
And don't forget, we've been hitting it. We've been hitting hard social media wise, like me going to breweries and like my Hudson Valley crew. They're like, oh, hey, we'll support you. That's how those type of guys are. It's like, hey, we'll support you. And believe it or not, had a few people be like, oh, hey, we tried this beer out, we tried that one out, and I was like doing the little taste tests.
Cool.
And so always nice to bring some like outside sources then too.
100%. Yeah, and we're always looking to collaborate. Like other beer podcasts, or if there's a brewery that, you know, hey, they've been reviewing our beers, we'll come up to you guys. Like,
yeah,
it's hard for me to get off on Saturdays at the moment, so Sundays is usually our best day, and that's
you're
the day we
working
shoot
around that though.
Yeah,
too,
hopefully
so.
I'll get Sundays off, Saturdays off soon. But
Yeah.
Sundays we're always open. Like we shoot this show normally on Sundays, and here we're doing a Friday night here. You know,
and sometimes we do it on a Saturday night, but you always usually do your stuff. You know, like
Saturday nights, like usually go see a
like
band
yeah.
or spend time with the wife because
yeah.
I don't have a lot of free
Fair
time.
Fair enough, man.
My free time is literally these 4 shows and working. Yeah. So yeah, Faith in Exile. That was a really fun episode. Andy is a huge craft beer guy, and he's been definitely behind the scenes giving us some direction and giving us some beers, and we definitely going to have him on again soon.
Definitely. I liked Andy Hare when he did his stuff. He's like, I spit out some breweries. Like, oh yeah, I tried that one.
Yeah,
like,
he's good, man. He's really good. He knows his beers. Then we had Big Jer. Big Jer came on.
Yeah,
that was a fun one.
I think we had a blackberry peach sour from Hudson Valley on that one. I believe so, yeah. And he really liked it. He was like, wow, really good. Very good.
Then we had our big one. Our Infinity Hop episode.
Oh God,
that was the one and only episode where we went overboard and we passed the 4 beer budget. We went over we did seven beers. We went old school, but we had a lot of people at the table to split them up.
Yeah, so that was me, you, your dad, Matt Sprague, and Dave Martin.
Yep.
So we had some heavy hitters too. We had our like little Avengers drinking session.
Yeah, that was really ingenious, delicious beers.
Oh my God.
We might actually showcase Ingenious again very soon.
We may or may not.
We may or may not showcase that brewery again very soon. Hopefully. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it should be fun though.
The Sharpie episode, I'm just going back and thinking. The Sharpie episode is the one where just saying the first one is when we Nikolai
half. We did the other half collaborations. That was their 5th anniversary.
Was that episode?
That was that.
It
was the episode.
And Nikolai got smoked.
He was just like...
He went up and laid in the hallway and played with a dog.
For 45 minutes.
He drank the second to last beer and just vanished.
Yeah,
he got smushed. That's a little behind the scenes for that one. That was funny.
That was a good one overall. We had a lot of good beer from Other Half then too. And those were all collaborations. So to those collaborations and Other Half, great fucking job with the beer that you...
They were great.
You put out some... big dick energy on those cans, so you did a great job.
Yeah. And then we had our Bangin' Beers with Bitches.
Oh, I love that episode.
Yeah.
I think the best reaction, drink.
Yeah. So the one girl never had a sour before, Scylla, and she drinks it, and we're all in a conversation. So Scylla's not even in the conversation, so she drinks it and just goes, it just screamed. She didn't expect it. It was so fucking funny. That was a great episode.
That was a good one.
And then we had our boys from Bad Mag. Oh no, actually, sorry, we're ahead of ourselves. We had Brewfest next.
Oh yeah, we did.
Probably the episode I'm most proud of because we did a Brewfest. We got into a Brewfest. We did a live.
That was fun.
It was a blast. Should we go behind the scenes on that one?
Oh boy! All right. I'm just gonna say it.
Hold on. Well, before we get there, my only problem with that episode is we used a webcam and not the cam we normally use.
And then we used those microphones.
So not only was the audio terrible, because that's when we really learned these microphones are not good for outdoor and large room areas or a lot of background noise. So this is our first episode where we're like, oh shit, we fucked up. Mm-hmm. We still put it out there for people, but it wasn't as good as it should have been.
Yeah.
The problem is with these microphones, it picks up everything, but when you try to listen to yourself in the monitoring with it, we couldn't hear anything.
Oh yeah, you were hearing like everything else, and
it literally sounded like it sounded like there was nothing in your headphones. Remember that? It was a weird feeling.
Oh, it was bad.
No matter how close. So you're screaming into it so you could hear yourself and hear you're way above everything.
Yeah.
And then what also happened is because we used the webcam through the computer and recorded it through the computer and not through a outside source, the audio and the video lagged and the audio stayed put. So none of the audio and the video matches, and I couldn't break them apart.
So bad, yeah.
I couldn't break them apart to put it back together, and because as it kept going, it got worse, and I just could not fix it. So it's an episode that I would probably recommend doing the audio only for on that one if you want to go back and listen to it. I would agree with you
on that, yeah. And that really the only that was just that was a whole new turning point learning experience in the sense that we needed to get these microphones.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of just actually looking everything up and going from there.
Yeah. So that's a great point too. Like that's episode 14. This is 32. And now we finally got the budget to get new mics and really, you know what I mean? Like, but since then we've been researching. We opened up a merch store, so we'll come back and finish them off.
Yeah.
So what happened at Brewfest, Ben?
Well,
Tony got really mad at you.
Yeah, I know.
I was ready to kill this fucking guy.
I drifted off. Ben Craig drifted off, became a drifter, and pretty much met every brewery.
Ben left the table. Right, so VIP started at 1. We get there, we set up. I said, Ben, I'm going to take one lap. Just kind of scout around, tell people we're up here so they can come up and hang out. Ben's like, not a problem. I come back, I said, Ben, go for a quick walk and then come back and let's do the show. Ben goes for a walk, comes back, he sits down for 6-7 minutes and goes, I'll be right back again. Gets up, and I don't see Ben for 4 hours. Ben vanishes to the point where did the whole day. I couldn't go pee. I had no one to watch the table. I didn't eat that day, so I was hangry. The only beer I drank at a Brewfest all day long was whatever was brought to me, or when I did my first lap, whatever was brought to me by the Pillaroo guys, and the Yingling stand next to me provided me Chetty all day. Every so often he'd peek around and he'd hand me a Chetty, and then he'd hand me another Chetty, and he's like, "Listen, man, because I couldn't leave my tent." So then we pack up, the tent's packed up, the gear's packed up, everything's packed up, and I'm like, and then Ben comes walking up, stumbling up. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm like, where the fuck? And I did not yell.
No, you did not.
I did not yell.
And then realizing that, I was just like.
Yeah. I wasn't upset. I was kind of like Dad in that day.
He was disappointed.
Yes, I wasn't angry.
Highly
I was
disappointed.
Just disappointed. And it worked.
It did work.
It did. I didn't yell. And I'm not saying it worked because Ben's like, I'm not degrading Ben, but he's new to this system too. And I'm very, listen, if you're part of one of my shows and Ben can attest, I wouldn't say I'm not an easy person to deal with in general. I think I can be, but I'm very especially if I'm putting my time and effort into something as much as something like this or like this show, I kind of demand a little something. Like I want you to take as much pride in it as I do, and I kind of have some certain expectations, and I think that could rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, like we're doing some pretty decent stuff here, and it's starting to gain traction. So I never tell if someone says like if anyone ever is like part of this and they said, hey man, I'm going to take a break, go for it. Like I'm not going to hold it against you. Like it's not like the door's closed forever, but the show's going to go on. Like don't think because you're not here that we're not going to do something, But yeah, that was our Ben. It was a Brewfest too, and you get really excited and you start talking to people, and in your head you thought you were doing the right thing by socializing and networking.
I did talk to a lot of the breweries, and I did give a lot of Bangin beers stickers overall.
We had stickers.
So I was just like, oh, here's your sticker.
We had stickers and coasters.
Yeah, I was just really trying.
I don't have any of those coasters left.
Yeah, I pretty much just ripped right through those. Like I was giving them selectively, and then not really selectively. I was just if need be, and then.
So next year's Brewfest, we're going to be there, but we're not going to be on the Brewfest strip.
Oh.
No.
Oh, yeah, I know where we're going to be. Okay.
We're going to be inside the Greystone.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
So we already kind of have worked that out, and we're going to do Greystone. We actually might be doing some episodes at the Greystone soon, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we're going to be doing episodes at my place.
Yeah, Ben's a new homeowner, so we'll do some there as well. Yeah, let me go back to Untap real quick.
Well, so that doing
that wolf print.
Yeah, that wolf print.
I'm going to give that a 4. An old can, I'm going to do a 4. I love...
the power of sours.
Yeah.
Usually, this is a can that was on May the 5th of this year, and we're cracking it open near the end of September.
And now we're going to do a quick pour here, and then Ben's going to get out what he wanted to get out. But we're going to pour here My Morning Haze by Imprint. I'm going to be honest, man. Imprints, if you haven't had Imprint, do it, man. They make good fucking beer.
You should have their Smoogie series beer, like some of their Smoogie series beers. They come up with some really wild flavors. They had like a mango culotta version, and supposedly it was like one of their best.
Really?
Like they do like
Where are they out of?
They're out of Hatfield. They are in the industrial park area. It's literally about you met Ryan from AEW.
Yeah.
He literally lives about 10 minutes away from there.
Oh, okay.
So I said to him, I'm like, the one day I like drove over and it was a
and
soft
you met
opening.
PPW.
What?
You said Ryan from AEW.
Yeah, that's.
I
what
wish I
meant.
knew somebody from AEW. It's PPW.
No, well, from the AEW pay-per-view that you had at your house. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Now I know.
So the one I dragged out for like a good hour or so.
What was his nickname? Slayer.
Slayer, yeah.
Yeah, Slayer.
Yeah. And well, I said to him, well, like I left this place, and then somebody told me, oh, there's a soft opening for Imprint. I'm like, okay, I'll go over. And literally, I plugged it in. 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm sold. Go over. And they had these cherry smoogie beers, and it was like a 4%. It was like easy drinking. Oh my god, was that ever freaking tasty?
Nice.
Like all their fruit beers are pretty tasty. And they do like we had huge Imprint cans when we were over, and I'm kind of jumping a little ahead, but we'll get into that a little bit. At Strikers.
Yeah.
So we had it amongst like 4 or 5 people, and people enjoyed Imprint. It's pretty good. So.
What's in this?
I think that might be. I don't know. I think it might be some Galaxy. All right.
I'm getting a little Galaxy, but I'm getting coconut.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm. I'm not. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch here. But my initial sip, it's like suntan lotion. And all right. So I want to clarify what I mean by that, because I don't want people to think I'm
Mosaic, Galaxy, and Nelson are in this.
Mosaic
And oats and wheat. So
I don't know why I'm getting that. Well, I have 2 tastes that somehow when I get them stuck in my head or my mouth, I get them away. Is any dark beers always get like a coffee taste to me, and this one for some reason I like the hoppiness, but the aftertaste is I get like a coconut style, it's like a sunscreen almost, like it has like a beachy feel to it. Does that make sense?
I can kind of see where you're coming through with that, but that just drinks smooth.
It is very smooth. It drinks really well. It's just that it has a weird aftertaste.
And that has about. Yeah, I have it here. No, hang on. I'm sorry.
You know what it might be too is because we've had so many sours and fruity flavored beer, like fruit flavored beers.
It's just something different.
When you go back to IPAs, you're kind of like, is this it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
7.8. That is.
Really?
That's drinking smooth for a 7.8.
Yeah. So then our next episode here is episode 15 with Bangin Beers with Bad Maggie. That was a fun one. Then we did the Amber Lee Hoffman, which is Amber, who she's dating Eddie.
And that was the funny episode.
That was all sours and
you're
porters.
doing sours and porters, and that was probably one of the toughest ones, just because there's not many porters that were out, and you hated the sours aspect of it. But I got the two best sours. Demiurge was the first batch from Hudson Valley. I'm like, you know what? That's a perfect one. And I forget, we had another one. I think it's pineapple mango.
Yeah.
And that was another good. I brought a good game there. Then I had like Corova Milk Porter and then Stay Wild Moonchild. So
yeah,
I'm kind of glad that I pulled that through with that one.
Yeah, and then we had our another mishap episode. This is another one where we had a rookie mistake. Not rookie mistake, but we did all these episodes live. So these were all live episodes. Then we did Apollo 88. And we tried to go live on YouTube, and YouTube went down, if you remember. So we're like, I guess we have to do it on... Now, instead of me saying, all right, I'll just do it video and edit it so it still has that quality.
Yeah.
We went and did it on Facebook, then tried to transfer the file from Facebook to YouTube, and it looked and sounded terrible.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad because that was such a fun show.
That was another good episode too. I actually had a space cookie beer just because they were called Apollo 88.
Yeah. And that's when I kind of said, you know what, we're done with the live, because all we're doing, like we would do live, and because it's just this laptop, it's older, and then when you try to put a lot through it, it slows down and it has a little lag to it, and then you're streaming. It was just too much stress on the computer. When we get a better computer, we can go back to streaming because I think it'll work better.
Yeah.
But now we're doing all recorded because I think at this point in time we should really be putting out the best quality as we can.
I can see that
like
too.
Live worked better because we got more views at one time because people like live video. But I'm trying. If I'm gonna I could go live and everyone's gonna watch it right there, but it's gonna look grainy. It's gonna sound grainy.
Yeah.
So I want quality. So that's when we said, you know what, we're not doing live stuff anymore.
And it doesn't really hurt to do the live stuff either. And like, it was nice having like 4, 5, 6 people to like show up and be like, hey, did you try this one? And like that was kind of like a cool thing.
Yeah.
But like you said, we're striving for quality, not quantity.
Yeah. And then we did this is Austin Comes Home Again.
Oh boy, round 2.
Yeah,
Austin.
so this is Bangin' Beers with Blackwell. So we had my dad, my uncle, my brother, and then Ben and Brett.
Yeah.
Brett from the Cake Stand, who has been hooking this show up for a long time, and the Cake Stand is our go-to. They always get us great beers, and they definitely we plug them, they plug us. It's a great relationship. I love that place. So if you're looking for some cool beers, head over to the Cake Stand in Monty City for your beer needs, and they have literally everything. You could buy beer, you can buy every type of beer, domestics, crafts. You could buy cases, 6-packs. It's cold, cold or room temperature. They got it all, man. It's tobacco. They sell tobacco there.
And the beauty with the Cake Stand is if you're a craft beer drinker and you're like, I don't know where our craft beer stand is. Like, I know there's like the Courthouse and everything else, which is local in Frackville. There's always another place that you can go.
Yeah. So the only thing that I'm gonna say that might be a turnoff for the Cake Stand, and this to me it's not a turnoff, but I think some people have gotten so spoiled when it comes to like the Courthouse in Frackville or Wise Markets or these different places that you can buy mix of 6s. You can't do that at the Cake Stand. You gotta buy a full I call it like a handle or a case.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Allotment. You have to buy an allotment. You have to buy the four cans, or if it's packaged in a 6, you have to get the 6.
Now, like if they did maybe like 8, like you're like how the not cakes, how like Weiss Markets or Courthouse would just buy, like if you just wanted to try a beer, hey, you can drop the money, you know what I mean, for a beer, and you're like, you know what, I tried it, you know, hey, I didn't like it, all right, I tried it, cool.
All right, and then that was a really fun episode. Then we had Sarah and Dave just kind of hang out, and we did...
that was our epic 3-hour episode where we figured
almost 3.5.
We figured out stuff on the soundboard, and we were just doing radical shit.
We played Cards Against Humanity with voice effects. It was crazy.
We had 6 beers. I think like we had South County. We showcased all the gelatos.
Such an interesting aftertaste. It tastes so good, but that aftertaste, I don't know. It's like a like when you're at the beach and you have suntan lotion on and it gets in your mouth.
Oh my God, Tony!
So it tastes like them. I don't know why. I still enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a decent score when we get there.
I tagged you then too. So
cool. And then I thought this is the one where we started tagging breweries, but we didn't. So this is episode 20. This was the Scott Sharp Appalachian Brewing Company episode,
where Sharpie brought Appalachian Brewing Company beers.
And I thought right then and there is when we're like, hey, we're going to do all of the cool tags, and we didn't. That was a fun episode. Then we had Dan come on again. It was supposed to be Dan and Dan, the Cold Cracker Bushcraft guys.
Yeah.
But Dan wasn't able to make it, so we just had Dan on again, and we had a good time. That was a fun episode.
Don't even remember what beers we had on that one.
So... if you thought the Dave and Sarah show was our record breaker, you would be wrong. Our longest episode comes next, clocking in at 3 hours and 44 minutes.
I think I might know what mine
This is the episode where I was very disappointed in Ben again.
No, we can go the full P word, pissed at Ben.
I was pissed. So at that time, I said, hey, we are going to do this show, and I want it to go live at this time. I want to start at this time. I think we were still live at this point.
I don't know. I really don't know on that one.
I believe we might. I have to go back and look, but I think we're live still. And Ben walks in literally 48 seconds before we hit
Death warmed over.
Yeah, and
it was bad.
Showed up 48 seconds before we're supposed to go live. shows up hung over.
I slept in at like 2:00 in the afternoon. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, and then his first beer he drinks and immediately goes back to blackout drunk the night before, and then just was a drunk slob the whole episode.
Yeah.
Trying to sneak more beers in and just saying radical stuff. But Terrain was a trooper. You can go check out his podcast at Alcoholitics. They drink wine and they talk politics. And that was the first episode, too, where we had beers and wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. First time I really tried some different wines. It wasn't terrible. I didn't hate it.
I mean, it does take a different taste.
Dry wine was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you put a liquid in your mouth and it feels like your mouth is now a desert? I don't understand it. Lady.
It's very interesting just overall, but
yeah. It was a very interesting is the best way to put it. And then we did our fridge clean out. Well, we tried to. I was very sick this day. Very, very sick. My acid reflux was through the roof. I think I puked at this episode. Not on camera.
I thought that was when you
fridge
with the
out.
Blackwells.
Nope, this is the fridge clean out.
Okay.
We poured a porter and I went out the back door and puked off the back porch just because my body couldn't hold any more thing. Like my acid reflux was up to here and I couldn't.
Who did we have on that episode?
Fridge clean out, I believe, was Dave. It was supposed to be a lot more people, and everyone kind of backed out because it was the night of the fireworks in Frackville.
Oh, are you sure that
we were supposed to have John, because John got hammered at.
Oh, John Dameter, yeah.
John got hammered and couldn't make it, and then we were supposed to have, I think, Sarah or Dave. One of those couldn't make it. I forget who was on it, but we're supposed to have more people.
I think your dad was on that one then too.
Yeah, or he was supposed to be, but he couldn't make it. Like we were going to have a full 6-person thing, and then just try to clean out as many beers as we could, and split them up amongst a lot of people, and do a fridge clean out. It didn't work out that way. Then we did Bangin' Beers with Tim Myers from Hotheads Hot Sauce. This is the first episode that did not feature Ben.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. Well, I had stuff to do. I was at a bachelor party that weekend, and it was just more like, hey, I'll do
And it was a very impromptu Bangin' Beers episode.
Really?
Yeah. We did the interview, and then he's like, I want to try some beers. And I was like, all right. And I think I recorded it with my phone.
And you said that it came out pretty well, too.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. We had a Pizza Boy peach jalapeno beer.
Ooh, okay.
It was really good, yeah. And then after that one, we did our first episode of Strikers. We did back-to-back episodes of Strikers. The first one we had Carlito on, and we tried some breweries from North Carolina.
Yeah, they were decent beers.
Double barrel.
Oh, I'm trying to think what that one was.
I thought it was a DB. I know it was a DB logo.
Something along.
It was the brewer that made the Crowbot beer.
Yeah, and they had a steak stout, and then they had another one, like a vanilla one, then too.
The Thrilla and Vanilla.
Thrilla and Vanilla, and then it was one with a steak on the label.
Yeah, that's good. Like there's perfect marketing right there. Now we just went through 25 episomes, and and that's the first one I remember by name because I'm a boxing and fighting fan, and it just reminded me of Thrilla in Vanilla. But they changed it, or Manila, and they changed it to Vanilla, and it was 2 boxes on the cover. Then we went back to Strikers, and we did a Skookstock premiere episode,
and that's where we did the Imprint collabs.
Yes,
we did. I think 4 cans.
Yeah,
4 cans, and then there was like the chocolate strawberry stout. We had a sour cherry stout. Sour. I'm trying to think what the other 2 were. Crap, I forget what the other one was. Something I forget what the other 2 were, but they were still pretty good regardless.
And then we brought the Apollo 88 boys back right before Skookstock, and we did an episode to redeem the quality issue we had in the previous one. That was really fun. And
you guys talked about porn.
We talked about porn. Yeah, it was a porn episode. And then we had our next one after that. We're missing an episode here. Number 28 I don't have on here. Let me look for it real quick. Ben, talk a little bit.
Okay, so some beers that I'm actually going to be getting, well, hint, hint, they are originally cereal beers.
Okay, there it is. Here it is.
All right, there you go.
Fallen Pride, the answer brew pub. This is when we started tagging breweries. So this is the Fallen Pride. I didn't put it in the playlist, so I have to go back and update that.
That was another fun episode because I really wanted to go kind of sort of balls to the wall, and I'm kind of glad that when our one buddy Tyler Budwash got us those beers, I said, "Hey, can you grab me like 4 cans for a show?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Paid him the money, and then he brought them back home. And
that was our Imprint episode.
That was
the
our
answer.
That was the answer. I'm like, wow. Like, well, I really appreciated it, but I was really surprised with how those guys handled those beers.
Yeah.
And like, especially, was it the guitarist? The guitarist didn't have a lot of craft beer.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I really like this stuff. And I'm like, and that's where I kind of turned the corner a little bit. I was really glad for that.
And then we had Dave Gates. Now this episode I think will always hold a little warm place in my heart when it comes to every show, because Dave is the first guy who really found us through the power of the internet, the interwebs. A lot of like, there's like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of guests who sat down at this table and I did interviews with that I didn't know anything about until we sat down and talked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a cool little behind the scenes with interviews with everyday people. So when you come on and do an interview with me and you send me a message, say I want to do it, I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes here. I don't talk to you until almost the day before the show, and I say, are we still good for this day? And I think what happens is and then when you talk to people like, yo, I thought that you canceled because you didn't talk to me the entire way up to the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't ask me about myself. You didn't, like, you pretty much, like, I didn't think it was a serious thing. So I had to start telling people, like, hey, that's kind of my strategy. I don't really want to know much about you until we sit down, because I want it to be spontaneous.
And it makes sense.
Yeah. I want it to be spontaneous, and I don't want to have, I don't research people. I don't go out and say, like, oh, I'm going to kind of Facebook creep them and then Google search them and then try to find out, this. I don't want to know any of that. I want to see you as a clean slate as a person, because some people I could have Google searched and maybe I would have found some stuff about them. Some stuff maybe I would have then had a different mind state going into the interview. And I don't want to do that. So I try to go into it with as little as possible, so I can learn, as long as you guys on the camera, what's going on when we sit down and talk. Dave Gates is one of those people, but a lot of the times when people come on this show is because we met through Facebook and we have mutual friends, and they had a friend who was on the show and then they recommended them to come on the show, or they seen it through Facebook because we have a pretty decent following on Facebook.
And literally add the woodwork. He's just like, he
Google searched podcasts in my area on Google, and we popped up. And he was like, I want to do that show. And he drove almost 2 hours or an hour, 45 minutes to get here.
About that, yeah. And he brought his own beer.
Yeah, brought his own beer.
I was kind of surprised. I'm like, all right.
It was probably my most successful recording of a live studio guest.
And that was a fun episode too, because we had a lot going on. He brought different beers that we never tried, and I was kind of curious to try some the Mellow Mink beers.
Mellow Mink has been showing us insane love ever since that episode.
That's great. I love that.
I put a post up today about reading a Harley Quinn comic, and they liked it.
Oh wow!
Like, they are like
going ape shit.
They're giving us some love, man. It feels good. Like, and their bottles were classy as shit.
Oh my god, I loved their bottles.
It was like the Mercedes of beer bottles.
Yeah, it
was sharp looking.
And I love their saisons. Their saisons were actually some of the better ones that I've actually had.
Yeah,
100%. And it's like, if you wanted a traditional beer, that's what you got. It was perfect.
And then our 30th episode, which you'll guys see at this point, so I'm not really spoiling anything, is our Wicked Turtle episode. Love those dudes. They're content creators as well. We sat down, we had some beers, we hung out the night before, we talked.
They brought their own beers too.
They brought some beers, and we added 2 more to the list as well, with our Stable 12 and breweries, the PA Dayman and Hidden River. We
got their IPA, the something Thread.
Yeah,
I'll look it up quick.
But it was good. They were all really good beers. They liked the fruity beers, not so much the straight IPAs. They had a hard time with those too.
Impalpable Thread.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, man. So that runs through, and then episode 31 has not been shot yet, so we really can't talk about it. But it's going to be a gentleman from Frackville he's a content creator, not in the sense where he records episodes and puts them out, but he'll go live on Facebook or do a quick review of him just at a brewery or having beers at his house, and he kind of takes a drink of it and gives you a quick review on his phone. Nothing crazy, but it's content. It's definitely content.
Yeah.
So he's gonna come on and hang out with us. Really, really cool dude. I think it's Spiv. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
That's why
Spiv America. SPIV. Yeah.
That sounds right. It was like Spive.
Spiv.
I like Spiv better.
Yeah, Spiv.
It's like right off
cool.
the bat, like Spiv. Like
Yeah.
it's like kind of like what a bullet makes, like Spiv. Like
Yeah, I wonder like a
shooting
ricochet
out.
shot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we killed 45 minutes and 2 beers.
It doesn't matter. Hey.
With that nonsense. Not nonsense, but
But
with that
we're actually I actually revealed one beer that we're gonna actually have with Spiv.
Yeah.
That's the 7.8 stout from The Answer. Bill get the honey, or Bill better get his honey, or give his honey.
Okay.
And that's gonna be a Teddy Graham Imperial Stout.
Oh wow! So December is going to roll around before you know it.
God,
and
don't remind me.
And Austin will be home again.
Oh my God!
So we'll have Austin. We'll have my dad. Maybe we can get Spiv. I want to get like some heavy hitter drinkers. Maybe we'll get Brett again, and then maybe we'll try to get I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll try to get some. We'll try to get like at least 4 to 5 people.
Yeah. I know I want to do a bottle episode.
That's where
I want
to bust the bottles
I want
out.
your dad to really. I really want to break out that 18%.
That's the episode we're gonna do it.
Oh dear Lord.
We're gonna do a bottle episode.
That's gonna be nuts.
Yeah. And maybe we'll do it. We'll do it here, or we'll do it at your house. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But that's where I think we bust out because we have some bottles we're sitting on that are some aged. We're sitting on some age.
Yeah, and they're just kept in the refrigerator then too. So like ever since I got them, and I thank my Aslan guy and like all my beer traders. I always put a shout out to them, and people are really thrilled about that too. Like, they watch the episode and they're like, "Oh shit, I got my name drop!" Yeah. I love that.
People like hearing their names sometimes. How close are we when it comes to the mystery guest list beers? Is it like if out of a 0 to 100 chance, what are we looking at?
What do you mean, like
the mystery beers that we're trying to get in? The ones that we talked about, but I don't want to give away.
Oh, they're dead nuts. They're already
100%.
100. Claimed and spoken for. They're good.
Really?
We're good. Yeah.
Oh my God. So Ben, all right. So every now and then I challenge Ben, or Ben challenges himself, and he says, "Can I get a beer that's across the country, or can I get a beer that's maybe not super easy to get?" We had one that made national news for a while there of the Lucky Charms beer. We had it on this show. The Infinity Hop episode beer, that was not easy to get. There's not a soul in Pennsylvania for the most part. Nah, that's a lie, because some of the people had it.
Our one guy,
Hoppy Floppy had it. Have you ever heard of Hoppy Sloppy?
No.
It's a dude, and he dresses like, and he puts like Daisy Duke shorts on, and he doesn't show his face, but he dresses sexy, and he's a beer belly dad bod dude.
Oh my God.
Hoppy Sloppy.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's Just Beer podcast, which is like one of my Hudson Valley buddies.
I'd love to get a beer
Dan.
girl on the show. Anyone, I don't care.
There's one that's from San Diego that's pretty ridiculous. She's fit too.
Yeah.
She's pretty good.
I don't want to over-sexualize them, though. Like,
I know,
obviously, that's
I
what they're
know.
trying to do, but I don't know. They have a big following. It'd be fun to at least try them out.
It's a niche thing for girls.
My thing is,
Nothing wrong with
I
that,
would
but-
love to just be like, what sparked this thing, and what are some of the things that have happened since you've done this? Like, I would just love to understand what it's like. Like, we have a podcast, right? We're not super big, but we're doing all right on a local scene. People know who we are.
And it's funny because like even like if we went to our like the breweries and all that, then too we're gonna get like once we expose ourselves, show our faces and all that, people are gonna kind of be like, yeah.
But we're not there yet.
We'll get there.
Like
We'll get there.
if we'll just use Hoppy Floppy as an example. If you like girls with a girl with some very large curves and hips and butts and boobs and very pretty girl, and
stuff and things,
and you like to watch her be almost half naked and drink beer, she's an account to follow.
Right up your alley.
Yeah, I personally follow her. She does great work. But it would be very interesting to hear, like, what is it like to go, like, do people get inappropriate? Because, you know, we do live in a culture where some dudes look at a girl like that and they, like, go, well, she's always fucking naked. What's the fucking big deal? But she's still human, too. You know what I mean?
You don't want to be stepping on,
So
you don't want to be doing
like,
that shit.
do people get inappropriate? Like, because, like, I'm a pro wrestling fan. And sometimes when a female goes in the crowd, some fans try to fucking touch that shit they're not supposed to touch. You know what I mean? Like, just putting their hands on them, and that's not cool. So I wonder if they've ever had to experience that, or like when you walk into a room and you have like a couple thousand followers, to where you walk into a brewery and people go, that's fucking, like, if she walked into a brewery, we'd be like, that's definitely Hobby Floppy. You know what I mean? Like, you would know.
Yeah.
We're not at that point. Maybe we'll never even be at that point. But it would be very interesting to know on a smaller scale
how
what
is it
that
like?
feels
What's
like.
the experience?
Exactly.
What's the experience?
Like, if she walked into Trogs right now, people would know. If she walked into other half or something, people would like, and that's a pretty far range. That's like New York to Pennsylvania.
Well, put it this way, she has it from like New York to like, I think, Delaware.
Yeah, like,
and that's like
that's impressive. That's
all of them.
That's
Jersey,
not easy
New
to do
York.
on social network. Even if you have huge boobs and a big butt and a very pretty face, that's still not easy to do. Is gain that following.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and even have breweries follow her then.
Exactly. And probably people hook her up with stuff so they could be like, put this on your Instagram so people see my beer. You know? And
all it is marketing influence.
100%. Like, I respect her hustle, man. I definitely respect hers and anyone else who does it, like, goes that route. I try to follow them because it's like, people think, oh, I just set up a camera and I go for it. No, there's work into that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to realize, you drink beer. You look at a guy like me, I drink beer. I don't really work out. And nobody wants to see me without my shirt on. You know what I mean? Like, and she can probably outdrink me. I'm just being honest. She drinks a lot of beer. Here's one thing I can't do. I can't chug.
I'm not a chugger either.
No, I can't chug. She can, like, if she had this full can, she could probably chug it. Well, I've seen her do it. I've seen her get a full glass and chug it right then.
I believe you. Yeah. I believe it. Yeah.
She's a drinker, man. It's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, and she still looks amazing. She's fit. You know what I mean? She's not letting herself go.
Now, for endurance, I don't know.
Maybe one day we'll find out if we can drink with her.
You know how with me, you hear, like, you're going off to bed. Hey, Ben, I'm going to bed. Good night.
But I've actually walked downstairs to some full cans because I've already seen 3 full cans that you cracked. Do you remember?
Well,
there's times where you've cracked a beer and you here's what I think you do. You get hammered, you fall asleep on the couch, crack a beer, wake up, and don't remember where you put that beer, then go get another beer and crack it, and then fall asleep. Because I've woke up to 3 cans around you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, full cans.
There's that one time where, like, well, I had 3 stouts. One was a 12%, the other 2 are 15%. And I started at 7:30, okay? The first one I had was the 12%. It was like a blueberry and then like some chili stout. Very good, because I was just playing through like PlayStation 3 and I was playing through Shadows of the Damned, because it was called Magnifico, the beer.
Yeah.
Or the stout. And I was just playing through that, just trying to get achievements and what have you. It's very good. Second time around was Stripes, when Dan got hammered off of that. So I was drinking that. I sipped that. And then like the third stout, I was just like a quarter, passed out until 3, 4 o'clock, woke up, drank it, and then went to bed.
It's crazy, man, because people are like, man, how did you guys come up with the idea for this show? And the easiest way to describe it is, man, we used to sit in I have a little man cave upstairs, and Ben would be like, man, I really want to get you into craft beers. And I was like, well, I kind of am, but I only drank what I found at like bars. Like if I went to a bar and they're like, here's the new Trogs, or here's this, I would be like, oh, cool. And Ben's a researcher. He goes out and finds some beers. So Ben would be like, yo, I went to this place and I got these, let's try it. And we would drink some beers and we played video games. And then I kind of started the podcast idea, and the podcast kind of started off with interviews and 10-8 round and wrestling and not cool in high school. And Ben very early on was like at every single show. Like he was the sound guy. He tinkered too much. I had to take the board away from him, but he used to help set up and break down. Like, and then I kind of cut him loose. I said, Ben, you don't have to be here every night. Go do your own thing. Cause I know for me, it's not easy to be here all the time.
And believe it or not, I really did not mind being here because I like doing it because it was like, well, one, like I had maybe a beer like behind the scenes, and it was just always nice. I'm like just doing my own thing. It was like
listening to a live podcast.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know,
yeah. So then I was like, I said, Ben, and he's like, man, it would be really cool if we did like a beer show. And I was like, yeah. And then we kind of just, and Ben has a catchphrase that cringes my wife out to all hell. And he says,
banging it out.
He said, let's bang it out. And Heidi goes, I guess just hearing Ben say bang it out creeps her out. And I just like, well, that's funny. So it became like a running joke where we're like me, Nicolette, Heidi would all go somewhere, and we're like, all right, we got to do this, and this. And then I'm like, all right, guys, let's bang it out. Let's get it done. And they'd be like, ugh, don't say that. That's Ben's word. It's creepy. So then we came up with the show, and we're like, man, banging beers. Instead of banging it out, we're banging beers. So.
Yeah, it's always a cool thing because I always imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin getting like 2 beers, banging them together, and that's like the main intention there.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, we don't actually like bang a beer.
We don't do the naughty stuff and get
we do that after we drink the beers.
Yeah,
well, I do. I don't know. Ben does it with his Pamela and his 5 sisters and her 5 sisters. But yeah, so that's a pretty cool obscure thing that it's behind the scenes that this is kind of wrestling reference as well.
Yeah, I always thought of it that way. I'm like, oh, that'd be pretty cool. Because and not only that, my mom and dad were watching this one show on like ESPN. It was like this one like beer guy. It was like there's like these 2 old guys, and they would just be sitting at a bar, and they'd just be watching, like they'd just be recording and be like, well, we got Dogfish Head, and then they try, and it's like, it's a good beer, and like they did whatever, and like they're like 40, 50 years old versus
on ESPN.
like and it's like, we're like 20, like late 20s, early 30s, you know what I mean? And it's like, hey, like new fresh faces, we're actually showing you stuff, we're doing guests and all that other stuff, so what the hell, why not? We're exposing different people to different beer then too. So.
Because I won't answer this question because I don't want to offend anybody, but you can do it.
What?
Who's been some of your favorite guests so far?
Oh boy. Okay, so I liked Dave Lorenzo. That was a fun episode because we were just doing some wild shit. That was just like the cool experimental, like, oh, we're gonna make the beer. Like, yeah. we're gonna develop film with beer. And I'm like, all right, that's a cool one. I really like that one. Fallen Pride guys actually were ones that I really enjoyed then too, because I got to reference Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh, we talked
somebody
a lot of Kiss
actually know that too, and I was like, all right, like I like those guys. Then the whole your whole family, that episode was pretty fun too. I like that one. The Infinity Hopped episode, that was kind of like my crowning achievement, just because just getting it all, prepared, and literally we could have had those beers even before the Infinity War.
Really?
We could have had them before the Infinity War, but you were like, no, let it cool off.
That's true. Yeah,
we could have really hit it hard with that. I would have got it with like during the week, no joke.
I seen the glassware that you have is on sale on. Well, somebody was selling it on that Facebook page, that 8-bit glassware. Mm-hmm. So that's a cool page. If you're into collecting glassware, I think it's called 8-bit glassware on Facebook, and people auction or bid off glassware. And the glass that Ben has, I think someone bought it for $85.
What, the Castlevania one?
No, the Infinity Hop glass.
They were going for a lot more.
Really?
The whole secondary market.
Not the pint glass. No,
I know exactly what you're
85. It went from like around 85, I think.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Because glassware is really making a comeback. Like our glassware that we have.
If someone ever puts online that they're selling, they want to buy a Mancho Man glass and they'll pay like $1,500. I'm selling it and buying a camera.
Whatever. Hey, I gifted it to you. You do whatever you want to do with it.
I don't want to get rid of it because I love this fucking. I use this for almost every episode. So Ben got me the Macho. You can't really see it here, but it's the Macho Man Randy Savage glass. I don't want to drop it because it's right over my computer.
Wow.
But I love this glass. But yeah, it's crazy how much their glassware goes for.
Yeah, I mean, even that answer glassware that I even showcased.
And you hooked us up with you got everyone on the show.
Except Sarah, sorry.
Sarah didn't get it. The Konami code glass.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, well, we're drinking
Super
beer
Nintendo.
on the show.
Yeah.
We're drinking on the show, you know what I mean? Not cool in high school, or things that were not cool in high school back in the day. And,
when we do an episode at your house, we'll do like a full glassware episode.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, it's going to be at least like... I don't want to
4 hours of glassware video.
No, it's going to be like $1,500 worth of glassware.
I believe it. Only $1,500.
And I love the fact that you're just like, I believe it too. Like, see, like when people talk and they say bullshit.
Oh, no, I believe you.
No, but
I've
I'm
seen
saying,
you bust out comic books that could have paid for my house, my car, and all this podcast.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, people don't realize, like, oh, well, they're bullshit. And like, I'm the legitimate guy. I paid off for the heaviest book that I've ever paid for a book.
Oh, you paid it off?
Yeah, I might be getting it next week. So it's going to be fun. That's going to be like that was my holy grail, golden age, oldest book. There's going to be a lot of milestones of that. I'm just going to be like...
Are we going to show it off on the show?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I just want to bask in it. It's kind of like when I bought a complete and boxed Earthbound that I showcased on Narco in high school.
We got to go back to taking photos and stuff and put them on the show. We fucked up on a couple episodes. I got I'm not lazy, man, but I'm not trying to fucking woe is me, but dude, my brain, like the day of a show when I'm at work and I'm like trying to make phone calls and try to memorize everything I'm supposed to say. And in my head, I'm like, how am I going to structure the show and then pass this on to this person and do this and then that?
You got the full time. You got the 4 shows.
And then I'm like, all right, I got to make sure the audio's in the right spot. I got to make sure the camera's set up. I got to do this. I got to do that and get it done. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot to take pictures.
I'll tell you what we could do. Like, we can take, like how we were doing them, take the full pictures of the
and then
stuff,
start the show.
And then
the problem is sometimes people don't get here till like 8 and we start.
Well, just hang on. When we pour the different beers, like I'll take a picture of the can with the actual look of the beer and be like, this is one of our beers. Please take, watch our show and see what we think of it.
Yeah, that works. I usually get every can.
Yeah, but like actual, like a pour, you know what I mean? Like,
we should start doing the pour with it as well. I agree.
Because there's some breweries that actually do that and people look at the color and like, holy shit.
Yeah.
With a little bit of lighting and the color.
We got to step it up. I got to step it up.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it. Don't worry.
Yeah. But, so, what are some future, like, what do you want to get out of this show?
That's good.
I'll try it out. This is Medusa.
That's really good for an old can.
It tastes like juice.
That's really good. Wow.
What am I? Oh, cranberry. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of cranberry.
Cranberry, tangerine, blackcurrant, vanilla, and lactose.
My dad sent me a picture, but he didn't say what it was.
Wow. I really like that. Man, I wish I would have got a few cans of that too. Holy shit.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
So what is your expectations? Like, not expectations, but what would you, in a perfect world, what would you want to get out of this show?
To be quite honest with you, I would love to have like a few breweries actually host us and recognize us, as a whole. Like, even if it's like 2 or 3 breweries that really dig us, I would love to have like that kind of recognition. Still keep doing what we're doing, keep grinding, have a few people that are like actually enjoying the place first time, second time, or be like, hey, I'm a regular and I love this place. And it's like, well, we could tell because we've only been coming here X amount of times. And the whole social interaction of it, I really feel like, hey, there's a good reason why, with the 1800s, the literature and all that then too, because I read up on it. Like, Rip Van Winkle came to be because like America was really into their booze. You know what I mean? It was like, it was inevitable in some aspects, and like we still fucking kick ass as far as drinking is concerned. I mean, you have Ireland, but I'm not getting into that. But point being, though, like we consume a lot of alcohol as well, and it's been part of our culture. But at the same time, though, like we're becoming a little bit more sophisticated, like the Europeans then too, in the sense that we can have a beer or two and then bolt on, hit the road or go to work or do whatever. You know what I mean? No heavy operating machinery, by the way. So I want to disclose that.
Like your vehicle. What has this show done for you?
It exposed me to a lot of people that I did not know, and it kind of gave me like a nice surrounding of some people that like enjoy the beer, and it kind of got me a little bit out of my shell a little bit more to meet new people in some aspects. And it was cool because like even like some of with your interviews with some of the bands and like some bands that came on Bangin' Beers, it was really cool that like when I was at Skookstock, I was like the first guy that they met, or Austin, we were flip-flopping, and I'm like, oh, you're this guy, and they're like, oh yeah. It's just so funny, like they had a first guy recognize them, and it's like, and I was just so pissed because Austin got to meet Randy, and I see Randy, look at Randy. I was like pissed because I wanted to see Randy the whole entire time, but I got to meet Eddie Reyes, and he's like, I look at him, I'm like, you're Eddie Reyes, aren't you? Yeah. And I'm like, I get you. I know who you are. Go ahead. And they're like, you're like, what? I go, you go ahead. And he's like, okay,
move along.
But it was just so fun just seeing everybody. They're like, oh, hey, man. It was kind of like a good warm feeling, even though I got my calves fucking sunburned. Like, that was bad. Sitting on.
We did it though, man. As a team, like so. I kind of renamed the shows like the Interviews at Everyday People Network, like not the Interviews at the IWEP Network. But Ben could probably attest to this. It's more than that. Like when you're on Not Cool in High School and you're also on 10-8 round, or Bangin' Beers podcast, or you're on Not Cool in High School, or you're on Tornado Tag or Interviews, like. Everyone who helps out with every show, you can see them on other shows. Like there's been a lot of crossover. Like Ben has come on in Tornado Tag, and Dave has come on to Not Cool, Not Cool in High School. Like we've had that interaction. The only one you'll probably not see is you probably won't see Andy on Bangin' Beers, but we might, because there is a section of beers that Andy wants to try.
Yeah, and I told him about it at the gym, and he's just like, oh, I want to try that.
Yeah. So Andy, we're gonna have Andy try beer, which is crazy. But I think realistically, man, like we are a family. Like we got each other's back. Like we all have the same goal. Like we want this to work. We want this to be something, And it's more than just drinking beer and talking comics and talking pro wrestling. Like we drink beers that we try to put over. Like we want to find local people to come on and tell their stories and come on and hang out and plug what they got to plug or showcase what they showcase. Like we've had everything from bands to people with 3D printers to people who run businesses to people who just have a story to tell, from people who are comics to everything, man. And we really want to showcase that. And on top of showcasing that, we want to showcase beers, and we want to put it out to the general idea, like, hey, these are out there. And like on our wrestling show, like, hey, go check, I know everyone's talking about the Wednesday Night Wars and NXT and WWE and AEW and Impact, but Hazelton and Outbreak and Hazelton PPW and Outbreak and True Wrestling and all these promotions are doing amazing work. Check that out too. It's right in your back. It's right in your backyard.
And it's cheap.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do a WWE
and like Not Cool in High School,
like
you want to go get a comic, there's a comic store here. Or like we tell stories about our GameStop or local places that sell used games. Like we always try to showcase others on top of also growing our audience. Like,
definitely.
We want to be genuine, but our main goal is to put other people over.
We don't want to be mainstream, but you always want to find like something local. You always want to, support local or do whatever it takes. Hey, we're the guys to do that. Yep, that's my feet.
Yeah,
my feet. That's okay.
I'm trying to crack my knee because it's bothering me. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what we're trying to. Our main accomplish here is. So, what do you think of this Medusa phase?
It has a little bit of a weird aftertaste, but I kind of like it. It's actually like, first of all, it does not have passion fruit in it. Thank fucking God, it does not have passion fruit in it. Wild combo here. It's tangerine, cranberry, blackcurrant, vanilla, and lactose. That's what kind of beer deal. I would have loved to try this fresh, but this is still pretty wild. Regardless, just due to the
I think it
facts.
took off a little bit of the bite with the sour that might have been there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
This would be a good Christmas drink with the cranberry.
yeah, I could see that. And like you even get a little bit of that tangerine, like the initial citrusy. That's pretty
Like
good.
you know,
Tangerine
like
and cranberry
like
tastes good.
or even like
Great.
a Thanksgiving. Like you're sitting at Thanksgiving, you're eating some turkey, and you want that cranberry taste. But you know what I mean? Like this would be a good like Thanksgiving dinner beer.
I don't know if you had it or not. Do you remember when I had multi-chorus? Well, that was off the camera. End of the show for Terrain's episode.
Yeah, you drank that. I don't even
That
know where you drank that.
one-
'Cause I left that day.
That one, wow. Okay. Did you ever have eggnog?
I don't like eggnog.
You don't like eggnog?
No.
Okay. Well, I would say I still have, it's been about a year or so, I still have 5 cans of it left over. That beer is the epitome of holiday beer.
Yeah.
No joke. I let it sit for a while. I'm like, I bought a case of it, and I'm like, I'm strictly gonna have this. Like, I'm gonna have a few of them, but I'm gonna let them sit. Had one on Thanksgiving. Fucking excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Christmas, it brought the Christmas spirit all in full circle. It was awesome.
So
It was
how
great.
you were saying earlier about you just got to talk a little louder. I could barely picking you up.
Okay, I'll get a little bit closer here. My fault.
That's all right.
So
Not that close.
I know.
You said before you really wanna showcase, or you want to like your dream would be like a brewery saying, "Hey, come on out." Who would your top 4 be?
Okay, so that makes it a lot better. Okay, I'll say it right now. Hudson was definitely one of them because it was just I always like going those for personal experiences. Other half would be a really cool one to do because we really liked their stuff. I would say Pizza Boy is another one then too.
Okay.
Pizza Boy is another good one, and I know this may or may not may never happen, but I know I'm hitting upper state ones. Trillium.
I was gonna say Trillium would be awesome.
Trillium.
I've
would
never been to
be
Boston.
Fucking fun. Oh, we'll go there one day. We'll go there one day. You know what I mean? I'll take a day off or whatever.
Yeah.
Take that Monday off. When I went to the Penny Arcade Expo, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I went to their canning site. They were playing video game music. They were just cool as shit. I just remember taking like 2 cases of beer in my backpack. I don't know how the hell I did it. And I was just trying all the beer. I was just like, it was so cool because like I carried 2 cases like 10 to 12 blocks away from my hotel room. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try a little bit. And I'm like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
And then,
So
yeah.
my 4, I have 1 out of stater, and then I'll stay the other 3 local. So I had one where I was like, man, I'd really love to go see them. And 2 of them I'd really love to go see. I would love to do. This is not on my list, but I would love to do Trogs again.
Okay.
I'd love to take
Yeah.
another crack at that with better equipment,
Yes.
because that was an awesome building.
Yeah, I really like.
It was
that
my first
facility.
brewery I've ever been to.
Really?
Yeah, that was my first brewery. And then after we left there, we hit up Abomination. Oh no, Rotunda.
Rotunda. Mhm.
And I really like Rotunda's beer, so I was really happy I got to see that. I would like to do an episode there, and they even said they would definitely welcome us. So that would
Oh
be
yeah.
So that's definitely not going to be on my list, because I think that's one that if we asked, I think it could happen.
Oh, 100%. They'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Rotunda and Abomination are probably some of my favorite breweries. But if I had to pick a brewery that I would really like to go to, I would say my number 1, only because there's not many beers I've had for them that I didn't like. You want to take a guess?
I think I have 2.
Go ahead.
One in the chamber, but I have one definite. Flying Dog.
Flying Dog's my out-of-state one, so that's going to be my number
Okay.
4.
Okay.
I would love to get invited to Flying Dog. It's my favorite. It's like, I love the idea of the art. I love that it's based off, the artist and Hunter S. Thompson and stuff like. I love that. That's my number 4.
And I like the fact that you're like, I'm going to go there someday, and they're like, fucking show up, pussy. And
Yeah,
they're
like
"What?"
I tweeted them and said, oh, man, I'd love to show up one day, and they're like, we'll fucking see it when we believe it. Yeah, that's what they.
Like it was just that like condescending, like fucking do it.
Yeah.
Come on, show up, pussy. Like,
Yeah.
like, something like that.
Love
like.
it, love it. We were supposed to go up there for a tour, but the plans kind of fell through, and we didn't go. I was kind of bummed. Yeah, and who do you think who's the other one you had in the chamber?
I think the one that I mentioned, Trillium, maybe. Just
No,
because...
the other three are in state.
Oh, in state.
Yep.
Okay. No, I wouldn't know then.
Rusty Rail.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'd really like to do Rusty Rail. Here's a crazy one. I've never done the Yingling Brewery tour. Never done it. I would honestly. Now it's one thing to be like, I can do the Yingling Brewery tour any day I wanted.
Yeah.
But to be invited by Yingling and maybe sit down and talk to some people from Yingling, that's a different story.
Yeah.
That's on my top 3. That's my number 2. Actually, that's my number 1. Rusty Rail is my number 2. My number 3 is it's tough, man, because they're local and I really really like their stuff. It would probably be Imprint. I see nothing but cool stuff from them. They have that like high mezzanine thing.
They have that. It's more like modern industrial look to them.
Oh man, this is tough too. I like Snitz a lot too. I like
Creek,
Snitz.
yeah, that's just like a smaller place, but that's like
Tattered Flag is up there.
Yeah.
Wolf is up there.
Yeah.
Like they're all really good local.
One place I kind of want to go to is Forest in Maine, and I told Ryan, my buddy, I said, hey, we should go to Forest in Maine one of these weekends because he wants to try it out because it's maybe about a half hour away from his place. Mm-hmm. So I really want to take some stuff from there and we try it out because we had one Forest in Maine beer, but it was only the tip of the iceberg or barely even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But
all right, let's quick wrap this one up here. What did you think of this?
I liked it.
What'd you give it?
I didn't even rate it. I'd give it a 4.25 just because it adds different fruits and it blends and it does a little bit of a weird aftertaste, but I kind of like the weird aftertaste.
I like it a lot too. I didn't go as high as a 4, but I'm close. I got 3.75.
Okay, fair enough.
So here's my quick rundown. You can do yours then. Mm-hmm. So for the first beer, was the Wolf. There it is. I gave Wolf a 4. Mm-hmm. All right, so I gave Wolf a 4. Mm-hmm. I really, really enjoyed that. I gave Morning Haze a 3.25.
Okay, just because of that
after. I thought everything everything was really good. Here's one thing I'm very proud of myself with. I can taste a beer and be like, that's Galaxy hops. Mm-hmm. That excites me. And then Medusa's Phase, I gave a 3.75.
Apparently, I didn't check in Wolf Prince.
Didn't you?
No, even though I had it before, I just didn't check it in. But I'll check it in because I have it, so I'm that type of guy. When I had it fresh, you tasted more of the mangoes and like the vanilla and all that, which made it an awesome beer.
Yeah, this
wasn't bad. It was like you said, it didn't have that sting of the sour. I'd probably go about a 3.75 for the Wolf Prince, just because it's an older can. So good job for it being a 4-month-old beer. That's definitely not bad. My Morning Haze, for some reason I just kind of wanted to drink like a regular beer. I had that one over. I had that one then too, and I like that one just because my dad actually tried this one then too over at my buddy's parents' place, and he's like, it tastes like cat piss.
Which one?
My Morning Haze.
Oh.
And I was like, this is the very first time I'm like, holy shit. Like, this
tastes
is the second.
Like cat piss.
But I liked it. He never has the palate for it. He drinks Coors Light, like Miller Lite, Coors Light. You know what I mean? So it's just like, again, it's one of those things. But I think I gave that My Morning Haze a 4 because I just like regular drinking IPAs. And then the Medusa, I gave a 4. I'm going to give a 4.25 just because it did include, bullshit, overpowering fruits. It tasted cool. It was cool tasting. It was different. I liked it. They did very well with what they had. They kind of MacGyvered like all that into a decent sour, so you can't go wrong with that.
I've been going a little crazy with my reviews. Like I was giving everyone like super high 4s, and I was like, man, I need to be like a little more realistic. But I did give a 5 2 weekends ago. Did you see my 5?
No.
I gave a White Claw a 5. I was really drunk, and I tried White Claw Blackberry, and I gave it a 5. I'm gonna be honest. I did not think I was gonna like it at all, and it was decent. It was flavored seltzer water. I would like to do a White Claw episode, but I would like to see how many White Claws it takes us to get a buzz. Like if we do a White Claw episode, you have to drink the entire claw. Like we're not gonna split them up. Like I'm just curious to see how many White Claws it would take us to be like, oh man, I kind of have a buzz here. You know what I mean? Like, can we drink a 4-pack ourselves and not be buzzed?
Okay, I'm not. You know what? I just have to bring this up then too if we're gonna be on the topic. So, my mom and dad would get these Truly ones, like the seltzer.
Oh yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh, these are fucking good. You go and space in between." And I'm like, "All right, well." I had like this one basil one. I like that one. That was okay. It was more like the Italian seltzer water because it has basil in it.
Yeah.
And then they had like some fruit ones. I think I drank like 4 or 5 of them. I'm like, what the fuck?
Not
like,
even drunk.
I was just like, what is this shit? Like, it's just something to break the monotony of like the hops and everything else. It would be a very great palate cleanser. But
it would be a good beer to sober you up.
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of like you're drinking water.
Have you ever? I've done this. Have you ever gone to like a bar, right? And you're like, all right, man, I gotta eventually drive. In like, I always try to time myself. I try to give myself at least 2 hours. Like if I go to a bar, I'll drink, and then like last call, I'll stop drinking around 12, so I have 2 hours before I can get out of there. Have you ever like, all right, I gotta sober up, and then your last beer you order like a Miller Lite and you sip on it just to keep yourself kind of hydrated? I do it all the time.
I'll tell you a fun story. So I actually had a guy that was in a fraternity that he was in my ballroom dancing class, and I got to be.
You took a ballroom dancing class in college?
I did. You're fucking right. I did. It was awesome. And well, my one buddy was in the fraternity. He's like, "Hey man, like."
Did you join the fraternity?
No, I didn't. But
why not?
No, I just didn't. But
you could have got your ass spanked with a paddle or something.
No, I don't do that. But anyhow. He's like, hey man, we're gonna have a party at my fraternity. I'm gonna put you on the list, right? And it was just a whole thing where I'm like, oh shit, should I go or shouldn't I go? I said, fuck it, I'll go. So they had 2 security guards. They were looking. I'm like, hey, I got invited by a guy here. It's like I should be on the list, and they're like, we don't see you on the list. And I'm like, but they let me go anyway. And they go, hey, I'm like, what? And they're like, we found you on the list. You're good. I'm like, all right. And then at that time, I had about like 8 to 10 like Keystone Lights, which basically was like water. And when my one buddy got way hammered, he railed the back of his head off of the last step. He kind of did like, you know, in Home Alone where they slipped on the race cars and bam, off the fucking last step, knocked out cold. The girl that he was dating at the time, she's just like, he's not coming around. He's out for the night. And I'm like, all right. So 8 to 10 Keystone Lights. I stumble back. It was like 2-3 blocks away from my apartment at the time. I take a fucking nap at like till 7, 8 o'clock. I get a phone call. Hey Ben, you want to go drinking? I'm like, okay, I'll get ready. Right? Fucking pounding vodka like it was going out of style. I must have had like 30 fucking drinks that night, and it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I kept doing it. I'm like, all right, yeah. That was like one of my top 5 binges.
Man, I had some nights where I got really bad.
Then I had like 13 shots. I did when Bacardi 151 was still around. It was I called it the bat out of hell, and you mixed half a shot of 151 and you did quarter shots of Firewater cinnamon schnapps and 99 apples. So you hit the apples and then everything went down, like the Firewater and then the 151 went down your esophagus. It was like fucking Pepto-Bismol. You know how they had the commercials where it coated your insides? That's exactly how it was. If you were hungover the next day, it was a good fucking hair of the dog cure then too. It was just like, we did one of those and we just like fucking binge shots. And I did that for the final shot. So hammered, puked all 13 shots, went to bed. It was just fucking bad.
I don't like shots.
That was very.
I don't like
very
shots
rarely.
anymore. I don't like shots. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. We kind of gave our reviews. It was a fun show, man. We did a little behind the scenes and stuff.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Kind of aired stuff out, and then I thought it was very educational.
Yeah, it was a cool thing there. Now, what do you got? Now, be in mind, this is probably going to come out for another 3 weeks. So what do you got to plug?
Well, I got Not Cool in High School. I don't know what to really plug. I'm conflicted with how many things I could do or say and whatever, but Bangin Beers with whenever we do it with Spiv, it's going to be a eclectic, awesome.
Well, people have already seen this by then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. What his episode is going to air
Before ours.
before this one. Okay.
This week is going to air the Wicked Turtle.
Okay.
Next week's going to air Spiv. And then the week after Spiv, when we didn't record because we were here,
we're gonna do that.
This'll fill in that
so
spot.
that would be the New York Comic Con, like that whole line where we're
the week after.
The week after,
because the
okay.
week of New York Comic Con would take place the week after Spiv, but we don't have an episode to go there, so we're going to record this one to go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm going to try and do, I'm just going to still be hunting for.
I don't have my book with me, so I couldn't tell you who's after
okay.
that.
Well, I'm going to just be hunting for beers for this show. Like, just try.
We got a lot to get rid of in there.
Oh, I know. No,
Yeah.
I think we're decent. We're pretty light from what I'm looking at there. So we're doing very well there. A lot coming down the pike. Looking for some different stuff, some very gimmicky stuff, as we have been doing over the past 32 episodes. Definitely some good stuff, trying to really showcase quite a bit. There was one episode we were really trying to get Goza bums from Southern Prohibition in Mississippi, and that was one of the very few ones that we couldn't get because we never had a contact.
Yeah, I'd love to try to get that
because they had
Capri
a whole
Sun
bunch
beer.
That's another one. That's now we're going like up. That's like
Oregon.
upper United States.
Yeah.
Like upper United States with that then too. But what I'm really trying to look for, I wanted to try and get Peanut Butter PM Dawn. The Peanut Butter PM Dawn. Basically, that would have been the stout, and that's a fucking phenomenal peanut butter stout. Mm-hmm. I think even you would like that too. On top of the Teddy Grahams, I think you would like that one too.
Cool. All right. Well, the only thing I got to tell people is, man, hit that like and subscribe button. Help us out. We climbed a little bit. We got from 300 to 315. We need to hit that 1,000-hour mark so YouTube can monetize us. We have the listens, man. We have the plays going through the roof. That definitely helps us, but we just need to get the subscribers up.
And how many people following us then too on Bangin Beers on the
about 800
page? Like 840, I think.
Yeah, we're doing really well there.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's our second highest rated show.
That's nuts. Mm-hmm. That's great.
Interviews is probably, now follows and likes are two different things. So interviews already people has 199 or 1,999 follows, but 187 likes. 1,879 or it's I don't know. They're very both close to 2K. Mm-hmm. Bangin Beers is over on 840. Mm-hmm. So it's growing. It's definitely growing.
But still, if people following us and they want to listen to our content, that's always a good
realistically,
thing.
If every single person on this, if just saying, if we wanted to get all the equipment we needed, if every single person donated $3 and we have 840 people, they just did $3 out of their wallet, and on the PayPal,
or even $2.
$2, yeah. We would literally, the show quality would go through the roof.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not telling people to do that. I'm just being and that's the kind of a thing I want to do too, especially with interviews. I have 2,000 people that follow that page. If I put a thing out and says, hey, this family's going through something, there's 2,000 people there. If 2,000 people donate $1, $2,000 goes a long way.
Yeah.
If 2,000 people donate $5, we're changing someone's life. You know what I mean? That's my main objective, is just always give back in any way you can. But it does warm my heart to see people wearing our merch. And especially when other people call me and they're like, hey man, I was at Walmart the other day and I seen I don't even know how that got there. I seen some lady with your shirt on, and then I go in my head. I go, lady with a shirt. What would she look like? Oh, she had this. I'm like, oh, okay, I know exactly who that is. Because when we first sold our shirts, I knew exactly who bought them because I would hand deliver them to people. Mm-hmm. And now with this store, I have no idea who buys what. So if people go out and buy a bunch of shirts, I'm going to be just as surprised as them when I see them in it. And I'm going to tell you right now, in my head, if you want to make me giggle like a schoolgirl and get really excited, let me catch you in public with one of my shirts and I didn't know you ordered it. Like, I'm being dead honest, man. It would fucking make my day so much. Like if I went to a wrestling show and I seen someone wearing a Tornado Tag podcast shirt and I never met them before, but they know me from the show, like that, I would, in my head, I would pop.
And that would be another thing for like, even with the Bangin' Beers show, you know what I mean? Like, even if somebody's like, "Oh, that's bad," you get some beer.
Exactly.
I fucking laugh, dude.
That was such a cool feeling. Like, and I hope I don't come off as someone who doesn't look approachable. But if you see either one of us in public, man, come talk to us. Come say hi. You know what I mean?
I talk to the public all the time, and like, I just like, if I look like I'm like disgruntled, like, don't forget I'm a public servant of sorts. So like, just be cool about it. I'm like, I'll be cool about it. You know what I mean? I'm just so used to talking to people all the time, and I just want to.
And the day Ben gets laid because, oh my God, you're hot, I seen you on Bangin' Beers, that would make my day too.
Oh my God. Well, besides the point.
My God, he says. All right, we're gonna wrap it up there with Bangin' Beers podcast. This is gonna be episode 33.
I thought it was 32.
It would be 32. You're right.
So let me just tell you this then too.
Magic Johnson, 32.
One of your biggest fans of fetish stuff with Heidi actually liked one of our pages.
Yeah.
Tom from Shendo Soccer. He's just like, I fucking like that show. I know that guy. Like, and Tony got a big dick down to his ankle.
He's an ugly fuck.
We had to sneak that. I had to sneak that in. Oh my God. Yeah. Only one show that Steve said. It's just like
What do you think of some of the new additions to the show? Like Brian and Steve. Brian for Tornado Tag and Steven.
Okay, I'll go with Steve first. Well, you hit it on the mark when you were like, "Oh man, you hit Ben on the mark," and like,
you love him.
I like Steve. I really do.
I like Steve a lot. I like Steve because he just laughs at everything. Like
that's the thing.
He makes me feel so much funnier than I am.
But that's the funny thing, though, too. I just love that. It's just the fact that, you know, he's just like he's a very genuine person.
Yeah.
Like really, like after the show.
My next interview is his wife.
He's like, oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yep.
But with him, it's just like you could tell him anything. He's just like, man, he's just going for the fucking ride of life. That's him.
He's a great dude.
And Brian, I think that was probably one of the smartest decisions to bring him on the show.
Super knowledgeable.
Oh my God.
And he knows how to control a show because he does his own podcast.
He's just like, it's just like, wow. Like Andy mentioned to me at the gym, he's like, holy shit, and he knows his stuff. He's like, he doesn't look old, but damn, he has like 40, 50 years of knowledge in his fucking head.
Yeah, he's super talented.
Nuts.
And we'll end on that. So if you want to go check out Brian's show, go check out Murder My Dude on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on all major podcast platforms. It's a true comedy show. It's an awesome show. I personally like it. It's one of my favorites. But they talk about like a true crime story or a murder or it could be based off a general topic like comics or music or. Their newest episode, sorry, I had the beer burps. Their newest episode is all about like Wild West stories.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really, really good, man. They do a great job. They do a good job with the research. And they're both very personable guys, man. You can listen to the show and be like, man, I legit like them. And you tune in not just to hear the murder stories. You tune in to be like, man, I wonder what the boys are up to next. And what they are able to accomplish on that show, and maybe it's just me who pulls it out of it, but that's kind of what I would want for our shows, like where people are like, "Man, I really want to find out what." I'm not just. I don't want people to just tune in and be like, "I want to tune in because the guest is there," or "I'm tuning in because."
You kind of want to be like a Dukes of Hazzard episode, like, "Oh, those boys are going to talk about some comics and video games and talk about beer."
Even if we talk about a topic that you may not be into, I kind of would like people to become more fans of the show and us as people, and because we're not characters, we're not putting on a front. Like we try to be as
legitimate.
genuine as possible. But be like, oh, they're doing an episode based on this. I'd like to see what they're up to, or what they're like. I would kind of like to get that side of the fan base.
I could see that.
But yeah, man, so thank you guys so much for the support. Check all the links below for pretty much everything we talked about. If you want to buy some merch, like I said, it definitely helps us out. We are actually on board. I'm actually buying with my own money 2 more of these microphones so we can do a full person episode at like a louder environment. I'm going to do my first test in a louder environment at Culture to Culture. October 18th.
Oh, wow.
So it's a Friday night, so if you want to tag along and help set up and stuff, that'd be great. And we'll go from there. And then hopefully, the way it's looking, man, I'm being honest, this month I'm going to get caught up on a lot of financial stuff. Get 4 brand new microphones this month, pretty much for this month. Next month, I'm looking at possibly getting the funds together to get the portable studio. And then in December, I don't know if I'll be able to snag it in December, but if we can snag the new soundboard in December, that would be huge. And then I'm thinking by at least May or March, I can get the camera I want. The camera I want is a beast. It's a beast. It's a brand new Canon camera. The bundle I want to get is the video bundle package, and it's probably going to cost me around $1,400.
Wow.
But not only is that going to be my strategy, is not only because this whole episode's about behind the scenes stuff, but not only is that camera going to be the camera hopefully that people get this image from, where it's going to be a nice, really crispy picture and it's going to look real good. But I also want that to be like, hey, we go out to a location and I snap a couple pictures of like a band, or I snap a couple pictures here, or I snap a couple pictures there, or we take our photos with that camera. And now our social media game with imagery just took a whole new level because we're shooting professional photographer level. Now, that also doesn't mean that once you got this camera and you put your camera on it, you look down the lens and you snap a picture, it's the greatest thing you've ever seen. I got to learn again. Like it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
I've never taken photography. I don't know anything about photography, but it's something that I want to challenge myself to learn.
And you know what the funny thing is, like if you get like a brand new phone or you get a new system or anything like that, you kind of just have to fucking figure it out.
This phone takes beautiful fucking pictures.
Yeah.
And this is a point and click. Like I don't know how to do like the professional style thing, but this camera is going to also challenge me to kind of take up a little new hobby when it comes to photography.
It's something else. Like I've only taken photography courses like in high school.
But
like
that wasn't digital. That was...
That's like manual, like everything, like you had to do like the aperture and then you had to do the focusing and like how much the chemicals and all that, like that like what Dave did on our one episode, like that takes a lot of skill.
And it'd be really cool too, like we go out and we say we go to a Bad Maggie show and I snap a bunch of really good pictures and then they turn around and say, hey, photo credit, interviews with everyday people are Bangin Beers podcast. And then they turn around and say, oh, they take good photos. And what is that playing? Like a podcast taking photos? Bang, they're on our page. Like it's just another way to possibly get some eyes on the content too. So that's our goals, man. But it all costs money, so hopefully we'll get there. But if you just want to help us, like I said, we got that merch store. Check out that merch store. Go buy some cool stuff, or you can always hit the if you don't want to wear our stuff because you're like, fuck those guys, I'm not wearing it.
Buy a fucking pillow.
But yeah, Ben wants pillows bought. He wants. So when you look at it, every show has their own store. So if you're on the Bangin Beer Show store, you won't see anything for Tornado Tag, or you won't see anything for that. So for the most part, it's teespring.com/ the show name, like Bangin Beers Podcast, Tornado Tag Podcast, or Not Cool in High School is no podcast at the end. It just is Not Cool in High School. And then the interviews everyday people is just IWEP. So if you're interested, it's there. And hopefully once I learn how to Photoshop and once again I get a better computer, I'm going to learn how to maybe tweak a little bit and start doing our own logos and making more logo spoofs. We do have one logo. We have 2 logo spoofs on the shows. Not Cool. Tornado Tag has a logo spoof. The Tornado Mania shirt is a logo spoof. And then we have a Bangin Beers logo spoof, and it's the Bangin Beer Hub shirt. That's all I'll say. It's readily recognizable if you see it. And if you do know it, you're perverted just like us. But that's going to wrap it up for Bangin Beers Podcast. Thank you guys so much, man. The support's been amazing. Facebook, we're really, really closing in on our first year of the show. And we're almost at 1,000 likes. Facebook's almost up to 400. I mean, YouTube's up to almost to 400. We have about consistently 20 listeners every episode, man. It's just so cool, man. I really support the love. Breweries, Imprint, Wolf Creek, and
Wolf Brewing,
and
Imprint, Lost Tavern,
and Lost Tavern, and
Icarus.
Icarus, man. If you definitely show us the love, it means a lot to us. So
please make us like Bobby Roode and make us glorious.
Glorious. And check out this awesome, awesome music. And we love you guys so much for the intro and outro music by Faith in Exile. So let's get rocking.
That was a good one.
You got it?
I got it, yep.